There's a lot of information about paraprofessionals both on Canvas and in the entire book that I gave you to read for this week. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about paraprofessionals. A lot of these slides you can read on your own. I do also want to say that the reason why paraprofessionals and that collaborative consultation model are together is because it's really important to kind of try to work with paraprofessionals in a consultative, collaborative way as much as possible. As the licensed teacher on record, it's going to be your responsibility to provide that expertise to the paraprofessionals, but at the same time you want to have that collaboration where they want to work with you and you are listening to their ideas, and you're working through problems together as you're servicing students and working with students and providing accommodations and modifications. Often our paraprofessionals are the ones who are in the trenches with our students, so it's important to get their perspective and hear their voice. But it's also really important to make sure that you provide them the guidance that they need, because they don't have the same amount of training and education that you do coming into the situation. As we stop on this slide, I just want to point out some of the instructional and non-instructional roles and responsibilities for paraeducators. And I really want to reinforce how important it is for you as a classroom teacher to provide some guidance with these roles and responsibilities. In the Fitzel book that you have for this particular course, there are a ton of really great handouts or papers, whatever you want to call them, that you can work through with a paraprofessional, really defining roles and responsibilities. Everything from what's going to happen day to day to what's their job for the whole year to working with a specific student. And those are extremely helpful in guiding your discussions. And as we've talked about with the collaborative consultation model, providing the norms. What are the norms for how we're going to engage with each other and with students? And that's all very important and can really assist you throughout the year in streamlining the services that you're providing and making sure that everyone's on the same page. One of the things that I think was most challenging for me when I first entered the classroom as a new teacher was that all of a sudden I had a paraeducator who I was responsible for. I didn't know how to supervise them. I didn't know how to work with them. And I was pretty intimidated because they had at least a decade more of experience than I did. So that was a really tough thing for me to do. And I think it's one thing that we don't always train our teachers on and train our teachers for, is how to act and how to behave and how to interact and how to supervise or collaborate with our paraeducators. So taking some time to really think about how you want that relationship to look and what role that paraprofessional is going to take is really important. Of course, each school has its own norms and requirements, and you may not have a lot of choices, but at the same time, you may have quite a bit. So take some time to figure that out. Discuss training. What are some of the holes in your paraprofessional's knowledge base? Is there training you can attend together? Oftentimes that's a great jumping off point for some really good discussions. If you're both hearing the same information, then you can have discussions about what it is you're going to do with the information once you get back to your classroom. It's also important to understand what your role is in that relationship. How much of their supervision are you in charge of? I worked in a school where I actually participated in the evaluation of my paraprofessional, and that was very stressful for me as a new teacher. everything wasn't completely weighted on what I had, seen and experienced, and then given them on a rating scale, but I did have some of that responsibility. So that was important for me to know from the very beginning as well.